You will be shocked by the hidden costs most people overlook when they're buying land. What I'm about to go over is going to help you make an informed decision on buying land. So you're going to want to watch this whole video to the end, as I'm going to tell you the 5 lies you need to know about buying land. Now let's face it, with home prices at all-time highs, more and more people are looking to buy land so they can potentially build a home down the road and do it cheaper than buying an existing home in today's market. Now the number 1 lie, vacant land is cheap. Yes, people see prices of land that is, say, maybe $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 for example, depending on some areas of the country, and they think they need to race over to buy that piece of ground right away. Now, I can assure you, most of the time, in the end, it is not the case. There is a real reason it's cheap. One reason, the land may be what is called landlocked, and you may need an easement just to use it. Now, as I cover all this coming up, if you have further questions on buying land, put your comments down below and also my contacts down there as well. So what does it mean to be landlocked? Landlocked is a piece of property that has no legal access to a public road. Yes, folks, you have absolutely no access whatsoever. Now, if the lot is surrounded by lots owned by other individuals or entities, you'll have to make what is called an easement. Now, what is an easement? An easement is the right to cross over or use someone else's land for a specific purpose. Now, here's an example of an easement, and this happens a lot, especially in the mountain areas. So I have my whiteboard already with our example, and lot 1 is a lot that another party owns or an entity, as with lot 3 and lot 4. And lot 2, as you can see, as this is the road, there's no access to get to this, so this is why this lot 2 is landlocked. So what you would have to do to get to this lot is you'd have to have the party at lot 1 grant you, say, an easement, as we made right here with the blue lines here, to give you access to basically drive over their property to get to lot 2. And as you can see, that could be sort of a big deal. Now, if and only if you can get that property owner to grant you an easement, that in itself can be a very, very expensive thing. I mean, let's face it, they know you have absolutely no other choices if you want access to the land. Now, you can try to go to court and look for a hardship, but really at the end of the day, if access for, say, if you're building a home and such is very important to you, you may just want to avoid a piece of property that's landlocked altogether. Now let's move on to lie number 2. You can build whatever you want. Yeah, let's face it, most people feel they own the land, and who's going to tell them what to do, correct? Oh, that can be one thing that will get you into a lot of trouble. Land at times can have what is called a deed restriction. Now, what is a deed restriction? Well, it's an agreement that runs with the land, and so it's permanently attached to the land itself. And a deed restriction limits you on what kind of use the property could be for. Now, certain types of deed restrictions are limiting types of activities that can take place on the property. Maybe it also will prohibit commercial use, or it will set for a minimum lot size or maximum building height on a structure. And also the deed restrictions can also limit things like number of bedrooms, pet restrictions, types of fencing, approval plans, and even tree removal. Now, those are just a few things you can see just how restrictive a deed restriction can be. And again, if you have some questions on this, give me some comments below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Now on to lie number 3. There aren't any hidden costs with vacant land. Oh boy, this one's a biggie. One major hidden cost that most people never even think of is the property taxes. Yeah, some lots, depending where you're located, obviously, could be taxed at a commercial rate. Now, commercial rates are definitely way higher where I am, in Colorado at least, and I bought a lot once, and after the new assessment, the property taxes were over $16,000 just for 1.25 acres of land. Another hidden cost, you may have to have surveys to determine exactly where your property boundaries are, and that can run you into the thousands of dollars as well, depending how that lot is set up. And another hidden cost, I found out personally back in 2008, the dreaded water tap fees attaching to public water. The tap fees can be a huge expense. I mean, we're talking possibly $30,000 upwards to $60,000 in some areas, at least out in our area. Now, that tap fee is usually overlooked as most people don't even know anything about it anyway in the first place. Now, another hidden cost that nobody will tell you that can be an eye-opener, again, depending where you live, is a soils report and having to build a foundation in bad soil. Now, out here in Colorado, in some cases, you may have to do what's called a 10-foot overdig of a foundation, as Colorado has very expansive soils, such as bentonite in the soil, and when it gets wet, it really expands and it causes great pressure on a foundation of a home. Now, the excavation costs can add up really quick, and on top of that, you may need to do some type of structural foundation like helical piers, and those can run you into the thousands of dollars. So you'll want to know about how the soils are in the area if you were buying vacant land. Along with all these, you may also need environmental tests, permits, and even road access if the streets haven't even been improved yet. So as you can tell, there are many hidden costs that can arise here. And if I left any out, leave me some comments down below. Now on to lie number 4. Vacant land is a good investment. Now we've all heard that, right? Buy land, they're not making it anymore. Now as much as that seems to be true, unfortunately, not always the case. I mean, you may buy land in an area that just has absolutely limited or no growth potential and also may have poor access. And obviously, it will impact the value of the land now and even further down the road affect the value in the future as well. You may also find there are environmental issues that can hold up your development project or make it impossible to build at all. Now, definitely do your homework on this one. Even the land around it, if it looks private and peaceful, you may find that a huge development's coming in, maybe some commercial influences that will impact you as well. Talk to the neighbors around the area and even go into the county offices and ask a lot of questions. Heck, get out, walk that land, as you may even find things on your own that's going to steer you from purchasing that piece of property. Now, you're going to want to set yourself up for a good return on investment, so just stay alert on those things. Now, lie number 5. You don't need a real estate agent for vacant land. Well, true, you really don't, but that's only and only if you have all the right connections and resources to turn to as you go through the process. Now, navigating the waters through a transaction on a land purchase can involve many different professionals, and there are a lot of moving parts. So you want to assure yourself that you don't get into trouble when you are buying the land. You will need to understand what the zoning laws are tied to the area. Obviously, you're going to want to negotiate a good price on the land. And you may also need someone to help identify any other potential issues that could happen along the way as well. Again, unless you are comfortable making the calls on all those things. Now, a good real estate agent can connect you with the right title companies, the right surveyors, and reliable contractors, as nowadays more than ever, it is so hard to get good contractors, and also another thing, a good attorney if they are needed as well. Now, a good real estate agent will walk you through each phase of the transaction, as it is very different than buying a residential home, and they will also assure that nothing gets missed and that you end up getting a great deal, and in the end, making it better and more enjoyable when you take that next step when you start building your dream home on that land. Now, if you need a good real estate agent, my contact link is below. I'd love to help you out or find you someone within my contacts that's the right fit for you. Also, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel as it helps me build my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.